Hello folks, welcome back. So we're going to tie a very small perch and zander fly. This is a Nayat Flashtail. It's a very quick, simple fly to tie. Literally take you 5 minutes once you've worked out the proportions of it. So this is tied on an Ahrex XO774 size 4. You can tie it up to 6, tie it 8. You know, tie it any size you want really. Obviously it's designed to be a small fly, so minimal materials. It doesn't need to be complicated. Just tie a few up and let me know how you get on. In the vise is the Ahrex XO774 and size 4. And for thread we're going to be using GSP 100, which I've lightly waxed. I say lightly waxed, I've waxed. And we're just going to put a thread base down. Now the first thing we're going to do is just to create a support for the flash. So I'm just using a very small amount of bucktail. Not much at all. I'm just going to taper the ends. We just want to lay that on top. We don't need to wrap this all the way around the shank of the hook. So I'm just laying that on top. Like that. I'm going to take some Hedron Flashabou in silver. You could use polar flash as well. I quite like this flash though because it's limp. So I'm taking, I don't know, 6 strands. I don't need that full length, so I'm going to take a little bit off and just taper the ends up a little bit. And then lay that over the top of the bucktail. And fold that back. Like that. Now next we're going to add some liquid fusion to the flash and to the bucktail, just to prevent that flash from fouling around the hook. Now, this isn't anything new. I know some of the salt tyers do this as well, and it's a very good method to prevent fouling. So bring that feather forward a little bit. So next we're going to use Nayat. I've pre-prepared this and I've blended it with some Angelina Fibre in sort of a pearl colour. Now you don't need a particularly long piece, so I've pre-prepared a piece like this, and I've blended it already, ready to go, just to save a little bit of time. You don't have to watch me blend it. All I'm doing is doing that over and over until I've got the shape, the taper that I want. So what we're going to do now is going to spin this over like that. And we're going to tie this in probably 60-40. Like that. And bring your thread over, and we want to come all the way to the eye. And then come back down again. Like that. Making sure that's straight underneath. Now we've got some grey Nayat, and I've just blended this with some peacock Angelina Fibre. Again, we're just going to make sure we've got the good taper here. That looks about right. We're going to come in slightly longer piece this one than the white. Not much, just a little bit. We're going to tie that down. Again, we're going to bring our thread all the way to the eye and come back on ourselves like that. Now we're going to build some bulk into the body. So if we folded that back now, it would go quite flat. So we're just going to dub some Angelina Fibre underneath and add a touch of glue just to give this fly a little bit more durability, like that, and then start building a ball. Like that. Get rid of any stray ones, it doesn't matter too much. Bring your thread forward and make sure it's right flush against the eye, which it is. We want to push our thumb and wrap that Nayat around, all the way around the top half. Come with a couple of turns and do the same for the white, making sure it's well spread out, and then use our thumb to push that back like that, and then start building a dam in front. Now if you don't build a dam in front, it will do this. So we're just going to use the hook eye to build that dam, so that's something to rest against, and slowly build it up to get the angle that you want. A bit more yet. There we go, that looks perfect. And whip finish. So all that's left now to do is put some eyes on it and just check everything's in the right place. Looks like it is. Put any fibres around so they cover. Just give it a wet. It'll settle down once we've glued the eyes. So take your glue. So if you watched the last video, I'm doing it exactly the same way. So I'm just putting some Stick Serious glue into the Nayat just to shape it. All the way around. And take our needle and just blend that Nayat into that glue into the Nayat like that. Without getting my hands in the way so you can see what I'm doing. Quite difficult to do. There we go. Now if it wants to keep sticking up, you can always get a small clip just to control it, like that. I'm going to put a couple of blobs of glue down, be quite generous with it, and try not to ruin your fly, like I nearly did. Now I've got some, I think these are 5 or 6 mil red flat eyes, so lay those on top like that. Just use your thumb to push them down. There we go. Just make sure they're straight. They look straight to me. We can cut any stray bits off later. I'm just going to let that dry now. I'll come back to it in a couple of minutes just to make sure it's good. Now I've got one that I did earlier. It's a little bit sparser, this one, but I wanted to show what I do next. Now if you watched the last video, and maybe the one before that, I use Gorilla Glue Clear. So what I'm going to do with this is I'll apply a little bit around the eyes. If I can find my other needle, stuck to the paper. There you go. So get a scrap piece of paper, and then it's easier to do it out of the vise, but I'm going to show you in the vise so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to put some on top as well, so it soaks in underneath. Some on the other eye. Like that. That protects the eyes really well then. So we need a turner, so we need to put this in a turner now and turn it on. So once it's dried, it will look a bit like that one. This one's been in my box a while actually. I think it might have even caught fish, so it's looking a little bit battered. But I think you get the idea. So short and sweet, real quick easy perch fly this one. Caught zander on it as well. So give it a go. Alright, see you later.